They told me the only way I'd fail is if I keep questioning myself. So now I'm giving myself 10 weeks to build a clothing brand. I really don't even know what I'm about to ask him, bro. I'm just ready to meet with somebody that's been in my same shoes. Hey, peep the order though. This how you start your day off right. But honestly, like anybody from Atlanta, they know about Waffle House. Honestly, bro, I'm sick of regular in here though. They be seeing me all the time for the community. Definitely got to get the All-Star, even though it's basic. But I'm finna eat, and then y'all gotta see what we got next. About the food, I ain't gonna lie, I don't even eat the menu no more. What? Hey, it's always talking. I'm not gonna lie, I was always talking. I ain't gonna lie, like, when it comes to the clothing brand though, I kinda need to incorporate, I wanna incorporate like black culture for real. I ain't gonna lie, I just pulled up. I don't know what I'm about to ask these niggas, but I gotta pull out the iPad.
I'm like, yo, Jay had asked me to do a video with him. I don't know what he's gonna have me doing. Like, he said, I can't tell you what the video gonna be. Bro, I need you here in case this nigga try to line me, bro. And he said, bro, I'm gonna get there, and you know what he gonna do? Even better. He gonna be like, King here, even better. And start rubbing his hands on some malicious shit. I don't know, bro. At first, I don't know. I've been peeping your content, been around like a lot with clothes and stuff like that. So I thought maybe it might be some type of interview.
No way. So who are we here with?
Keem, man.
Tell me some more about you, man.
My name is Keem. I'm 18 years old. I am a designer, brand owner, director, writer, directing a short film, writing a short film right now with my boy 8 Ball.
8 Ball.
Yo, it's Adrian, aka AD Mihara on all socials. I'm a designer, brand owner. Used to be kind of influencer, but you know, back on the brand ownership wave, entrepreneurship. I study marketing and branding and advertisement. So need branding, advertisement for anything, hit me up.
Alright, so I'm finna give both of y'all an opportunity to just glaze yourself for a second. So, what's the most impressive thing you've done so far with the whole fashion industry?
The most impressive thing I've done so far was probably had clothes I designed be worn in the NFL and the WNBA.
So I'm not gonna lie, I've had a hand in so many different things when it comes to clothes. Number one would probably be working with big brands. I can't name some of them, but doing design work for some big brands, of course, getting my clothes out to famous people, celebrities. I just got reached out to by a stylist for one of the biggest celebrities of our generation, no bullshit. Generated over $1 million in sales and revenue for a bunch of different brands.
So, what made both of y'all start y'all brand?
With me, in a real way, growing up, my brother and sister were during the hype beast era and everything. So I always used to see the Supreme box tees, the Jordans every week, and I always was drawn into that. And probably I want to say about somewhere between 8th grade, I really started getting drawn into clothes. And that's where I really, started to carry myself differently. So about 10th grade, towards the end of 10th grade, I wanted to start a brand. I already had the name and everything. I thought about the name when I was about to go to sleep, Sanctuary, and it really stuck with me. So AD was designing at the time. I reached out to him. I was like, yo, I want to get some stuff going, got that going. And that was the drive behind my brand.
So I've always had a love and a passion for clothes. I've been dressing myself consistently since I was a youngin'. I used to wake up for pre-K and I used to put on outfits that my granddad would wear. But at the time, having an understanding of clothes, to a degree like that, where I could copy somebody else like that, was crazy. What made me want to start my brand was I saw a lot of other people turning their passion for art and stuff into something that they could do with clothes. And for me, as somebody who went to art school at a young age and everything, that was really important. to find an outlet to be able to express myself creatively. And I always loved clothes. I was always told that I knew how to dress and everything. So turning it into something that I could like tangibly produce, with a brand and everything, was something that I focused really hard on. The idea for my brand came to me in 2021. I came up with the slogan first, feed the culture. That's no longer the slogan, but that's where Cultiv8 stemmed from. And just over time, like the meaning of it and everything, and my understanding of it has evolved, with my experiences and everything. So
basically, me, honestly, I think I could do anything. So I'm trying to start a clothing brand in 10 weeks just to show people like the outside world that it's possible. You know what I'm saying? So what was your first step you took after you had the idea?
The first steps I took was I instantly got on YouTube, how to start a brand, how to start a website, learning about an LLC and everything like that, the back ends of it. And this was in like 10th grade, so I was 16. The first thing I did do was open up my website, which was through Shopify. For my first website, I had AD do it because at that time he was really like settled into the brand side of everything. So around that time, he was just like really pivotal for me. So yeah, I just started with a Shopify. From the Shopify, I went into, looking on YouTube a lot. I was really just on YouTube. YouTube was my best friend a lot of the times. The time my second drop, it was the long sleeve. I did my website. That's when I designed my own piece and everything. That's when I learned how to design, and I started using Procreate. That was like another step for me, learning how to be my own designer and everything like that, and do everything on my own. And then from there, I just continued to get better per se, but in a real way, I did get better alongside with my brother, like in a genuine fashion. Like we just can progressively got better together. And it has been slow, but that's just due to other things I'm trying to do while also like wanting to be into clothes. But the first step in starting with me is just knowing that you can start, and like genuinely. Like once you got that down, it's just gonna go on go mode, bro.
So my first step and what your first step should be are completely different. My first step was creating, right? Which should not be your first step. I have it pulled up right here. This is my first ever clothing brand design. It literally means nothing. Like it dead ass means nothing. But that's what I started with. You feel me? I saw a video of this person. He was like, this is how you create a design or whatever. And I had been designing a little bit because during the Fortnite days, I used to make thumbnails and shit like that. So, I wanted to test out to see if I could design something different. And I made my first t-shirt. And then I took like a long break to take a step back and really figure out what it was that I wanted the message behind my clothing to be. And that should be what your first step is, because it always starts with the message, an idea, and it branches out in the ways that you want to expand upon that idea, right? Like, let me give an example of a good brand, Supreme, right? His first idea of Supreme, the creator of Supreme, his first idea of the brand was to be like a storefront along with Stussy, right? Not to be this, iconic brand that took over the entire world and changed, streetwear as a whole. It was just to be able to have a storefront that could, pair stuff up with Stussy, right? But that idea evolved, and the way that he approached that idea evolved over time, throughout experiences and different relationships that were formed and stuff like that. And becoming really clear on what your goal with creating your brand is step number one. You don't move on to any type of creating anything until you are so clear on what it is that you're trying to do with your clothes. If you want to make clothes just for the sake of making them, then make that your forefront. If you want to make clothes because of your passion for fashion and creativity and everything, make that your forefront. If you want to make clothes strictly to make money, then make that your forefront. But get really clear on what it is that you're doing with your clothes, and then you start, everything else follows past that.
All right, man. So let's say you're me right now. You're going home. What's the first thing that you would do?
Learn the ins and outs of it. Learning the backgrounds, how to get set up, because that was really important for me. I always felt as if, over time, with time things do get better is when I start to progress. So the main thing for me was how to get everything set up, making sure I have all my ducks in a row, making sure this is how it's supposed to be, making sure this looks good for the customer coming in, making sure everything looks right, and just setting it up and setting up a world behind the clothes and everything. That's what was really important for me as well, because I really love movies. I really do like movies. So that was a big thing for me. That's a big thing for a lot of brands as well. World building a world around your brand. Like Balenciaga, you go to a Balenciaga show, it looks like Balenciaga, run down, rugged. Louis Vuitton just did a show at the beach. It was like a waterfall that looks like Louis Vuitton. It looks like Pharrell. Learn the ins and outs about it, and to build a world behind what I was going for.
You're in my shoes. How would you do your marketing?
Honestly, I would be as aggressive as possible, because there's like a rule. Don't quote me on this because I'm not like 100% clear. I can't repeat it verbatim, but it's like people see something 7 times before they interact with it, right? So the way that people make communities is they put shit in their faces in ways that they don't expect it to. The reason that everybody knows Supreme and knows what Supreme is because of seeing that box logo so many times, right? You think of when you was a kid, 2016, 2017, you seen Supreme everywhere. You saw it on t-shirts, you saw it on shoes, you saw it on accessories and stuff like that. Like, that's the key to building a strong connection with any type of fan base, is just making sure that people see your shit as much as possible. You're on the content side of things, so you're making videos about your journey and stuff as well, and the best way to push that out is just like literally clip the same thing a few different times and then figure out what performs the best when you put it out onto the platforms and stuff.
If you had to drop a piece right now starting from scratch, what sells well?
Basics. So the one thing that people will always need is something that can go with everything, right? There's a few things in life. This is how business works, right? It's you solve a problem for a lot of people. You solve a small problem for a lot of people. You solve a big problem for a small group of people, or you solve an even problem for an even amount of people or whatever. But clothing is not something that everybody needs all the time, right? Everybody needs clothes, but you can go get clothes from Walmart, right? You can go get clothes from Target. You can get clothes anywhere, right? The reason that they should be inclined to shop with you is because your quality, your branding, your representation makes people feel cooler than if they were to go into a Walmart or a Ross or wherever else they sell clothes, right? So elevated basics, because you don't have to reach a specific target audience to be able to sell basics, right? Like, niggas like Goodfellow tees because they fit better than other t-shirts, but there's nothing different about them for real besides maybe it feels a little better. The sizing is a little different, but it's a fucking t-shirt. Like, it's not like it's anything that's super crazy. So anything that's like basic, the skull caps, like there's when there's a perceived need for a thing, and then a brand comes in like, here, I got what you need, I can save you, I can give you exactly what you need. That's where people see the sales. So if it's, getting colder, this is why you see brands like, here, I have this new jacket, you feel me? You need this jacket because it's gonna make you feel cool, it looks better than the other jackets, and this is what you need to be having in your closet going into the fall and the winter and everything. It's just like I don't know. There's you gotta take supply and demand into.
Okay, so the way I see it is, I see like when people see something, they think, "How is this gonna raise my value in the marketplace?" Like, you know what I'm saying?
Literally.
Is that how you feel? Like, if I wear this T-shirt, is X, Y, and Z gonna look at me better?
Yes.
Would you say that that's the key to?
That's like literally I can't even explain it better than that, because people buy things because they feel like it's going to add value to them, add value to their lives, and add value to their experience while they're here on earth. None of this shit matters, right? I bought my car because I thought it would add value to my life, and in my perspective it has, right? Like I have more fun waking up and hopping in a car that's loud and quick and shit like that, you feel me, than hopping in something that's, you know, a little bit more reasonable for someone my age, right?
So you had to market that with $100. What would you do first?
Woo!
Yeah.
I take that $100, go get some nice clothes from Walmart, and I go apply it to McDonald's. I get a job. Because clothes is not a get-rich-quick thing. This shit takes time. It is expensive as all get out. I'm
not even talking about just buying these. I mean, you just had to take, let's say you put $100 aside, and you said, all right, I'm going to use this $100, and hopefully I can get as many people to see my stuff.
Oh, okay,
Like
okay. Then advertisement, Facebook ads, for sure. Because the free way to go about it is just cutting up the videos, doing it yourself, and putting them out there as much as possible. But then I would say, just if you were to like quickly spend money into something to see if it could make you money back, Facebook ads, no doubt about it. You learn how to do it. You find somebody who knows how to do it. You know, pay them a little bit, but yeah, Facebook ads for sure.
So, you know me, I got 10 weeks to try to do this, document it. What mistake would cause me to fail?
I'm not gonna lie, the only thing that would cause you to fail in like your journey in this short of a time period is thinking that you can't make it happen. You feel me? Because yes, it's like it's a long shot to be able to make like anything successful in a short amount of time, but that's how you see, you know, how hard you can work towards a goal. You gave yourself a specific time limit and you're like, all right, I'm finna make this shit happen. If you at any point are like, I don't know, you feel me, that's what would cause you to fail. You feel me? You gotta be sure of yourself, because if I can do it, if he can do it, you can do it. If Quan can do it, you can do it. If fucking Cashy V can do it, you can do it. If DDG, Kaisenad, anybody can do it, you can do it. So, you feel me? Like, we're all people. We have no perceived value higher than the people around us or whatever. So it's just believe you can, and that's it.
That question alone will cause you to fail. Don't even question if failure is in the vicinity, because that's when you just start to overthink. Just know you can do it. Don't question if you can do it, because it's been done. You've seen it. You're friends with niggas who've done it before. So it can be done, folks.
Yeah, it's like when you hooping. Like on any given court, you gotta feel like you the best nigga out there to perform. You feel me? You can't get on the court and be like, this nigga finna bust my ass. Because if you do, then he finna bust your ass. Like, you gonna get your ass busted. So it's the same thing with anything. It's just, don't act like you know everything, because you don't. You feel me? Be open to learning and the experience and everything, but just don't take any like lesson learning point as indication that you're not going to make it happen. You feel me? Because that's not the case. So, yeah.
So, what would you try to do in my shoes before next Sunday?
Before next Sunday, what I would try to do, I would try to do two things. One is what I said, trying to understand, the background, getting your website done and everything, and learning what steps it takes to do that, getting all that set up. And another one was what AD said, understand the meaning of your brand, what you want it to be, have a reasoning behind it. If you want to do it for money, do it for money. If you want to do it for clothes, do it for clothes. But really have that set out because that lets you know what you're doing it for, and there's no confusion. So, you know, on days you don't feel like doing it, you can, I got to get up. I got to get this money, or I really love clothes. I need to get up and do it because I love clothes. So once you start to understand that, it just, you know, becomes really simple. So by Sunday, I feel as if, you know, that's something you should really start to understand. If you are, what are you in it for, and the background of everything.
You got anything to add on to that?
So why Sunday specifically? You just giving yourself like a
next Sunday, I'll be. So I'm gonna start this. Well, I'm finna start today, but I'm finna start Sunday. Like a video dropping every Sunday.
Okay, cool. So between now and next Sunday, I would say take the time to really focus on what your goal with your brand is, what type of brands you would take inspiration from, and take inspiration from things outside of clothes too, because art is inspired by life, and life inspires art. So you gotta be open to different experiences. I would say take like a day when you have the time to go to like stores where there's designers, you know, with clothes and shit like that. Go to Saks over at Lennox or whatever. Go to Full Circle, Good Times, look at the vintage shit, what people used to wear back in the day. Go to a Goodwill, you feel me? Feel the different fabrics, why somebody wouldn't wear, you know, this or that. And yeah, do your research on what type of products that you would want to put forward. Yeah, bro, before you make any type of move, just evaluate the state of the space, right? So, you know, look at my brand, look at Keen brand, look at all the surrounding brands in the scene, to like just really see what it is that's going on and what your role in that, you know, in the community is going to look like, right? Are you going to be a person who changes the game, or are you going to be a person who capitalizes off of what the game looks like right now, right? And after you figure that out, then everything is pretty easy from there. So yeah, just first things first, figure out what you're going to do, and then study the things that would allow you to be able to do that. And you make some content out of that, you know? You going to the stores, looking at the clothes and shit like that. Ooh, I really fuck with this, you feel me? I want to buy this vintage shirt because I fuck with the graphic. I'm finna recreate this, you feel me? Like, it's just, yeah, bro. You gotta research clothes, because this shit is really like always evolving. So you can't plan for your shit to look how everything looks right now. You gotta plan for it to look what it looks like tomorrow, and a week from now, and a year from now. You gotta be able to predict the trends before they happen. So you gotta study shit.
Same shit. And you a funny ass nigga, bro. You really are. Alright, man, so we're gonna take a break from this. So now
they post that. That's like a good example of why we need to post that.
alright, yeah.
But post that, and yeah, then next submission I got.
Hey, it's a can. It's a can. Oh, hey, it's a cash walk. I ain't missing my target. How you went from a bottom to a motherfucking artist?